Yes, I do research around gender and diversity in innovation-intensive contexts and organizations, and specifically I look at the role of women and minorities in contributing to the innovation ecosystem. To bring an example to this, when you think about innovation, you often think about people like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs that have contributed enormously with technologies, but what we often forget is that behind the space rocket that was sent into orbit by NASA in the 50s and 60s, there were calculations made by women, and specifically black women. And my research tries to shed light on these women, on their contributions, and the importance of creating an inclusive innovation ecosystem. They did change over the years, and we see nowadays organizations but also policies targeted towards creating more inclusive spaces where people from diverse backgrounds can contribute. However, often how these issues are addressed are by targeting women, for example, and lack of confidence that they might have, or the imposter syndrome that they feel they might have when it comes to being promoted in an organization or simply doing their job. When we do this in organizations and in wider institutional settings, we do not target the problems that are at the basis of why women feel unconfident or why women feel that they are acting as imposters. So there's still lots of work to be done in that area, and there is still lots of conversations to be made between organizations and academics in these respects. Gender research has been contributing enormously in addressing the gender pay gap, in addressing all the different elements such as the lack of women in specific fields. Think about the science and technology fields. And also there is research that contributes to thinking about why women and minorities are not going forward within organizations, let's say in terms of promotion. And this is often linked to the way that women and minorities are evaluated when it comes to promotion criteria or assessing the quality of their work. It's very important when I talk to organizations, and last year I talked to the Scottish Government around how to create a more inclusive organization and more inclusive innovation ecosystems. And there is an interest from policymakers and from organizations to actually make this happen. And I think researchers can contribute to these conversations and to making a change in the way equality and diversities can be achieved. There is still a long way to go when it comes to a real equality of opportunities for different people, not just for women or white women, but minorities and people with different abilities. And I think research really needs to keep the conversation up with the policymakers and other organizations to make that happen.